Just a couple years ago, Blizzard Entertainment started to enter some really deep, hot water when all the sexual allegations about the company came to light. And we got to discover that the company basically had a total frat boy culture where people were climbing onto others' desks, looking up their skirts, them sexually harassing and writing inappropriate emails about the female staff, which is very inappropriate, unprofessional, and totally disgusting. And this caused an uproar in the gaming community. There were tons of gamers saying they were going to boycott Blizzard and that this was totally unacceptable and that they were going to sacrifice Blizzard games for the greater good. But in this video, we're going to go over why this was actually total nonsense, and most of these people realistically did not really care, and the boycott had nothing to do with the sexual harassment, but had more to do with people just joining the Twitter mob and trying to virtual signal. What's up guys, it's Flux985 here, and in today's video we're going to go over the latest news and success of Blizzard games, and we're going to talk about why virtually signaling and boycotts on Twitter are pretty much irrelevant in the grand scheme of things. But let's get into it. Now, before I call out the vast majority of people that had the outrage over this news, I just want to say up front, I do not support, or this is not me defending Blizzard's actions. I simply want to point out to the fact that I'm so sick of, especially with the gaming or nerd culture, where they act like they're going to boycott something, and then as soon as something comes out that piques their interest, they jump back on the bandwagon and support the company, play their games, watch their movies, what have you. Now, this is gone to court, and I hope the courts take the proper action and punish those that need to be punished and get this situation taken care of, because no one should have to work in these conditions. This video is more just directed towards the outrage we saw on Twitter and YouTube and social media, and how everyone was all up in arms, never gonna support an Activision Blizzard product again. And now we have Overwatch 2 being vastly successful. The new Call of Duty is probably going to be the highest selling game of the year. And I just want to point out those facts and the total hypocrisy and why people need to stop having this mob mentality and act like they're all high and mighty, when in reality, as soon as a game comes out that piques their interest, they're just going to turn it on and play it. I'm sure there's a small portion of you that stuck to your guns and did not support the company after these games came out. But yeah, so anyways guys, let's actually get into the video. Alright, so I'm going to go out on a limb. I think the average person when this came out was already annoyed at Blizzard. World of Warcraft, Diablo 3, Overwatch 1, all their games were in such a bad spot. I believe World of Warcraft was in a huge content drought. Diablo 3's basically been dead for years, and Path of Exile has completely beaten it in that genre of games. StarCraft 2's dead. Heroes of the Storm's dead. So most of them were already annoyed with Blizzard as a company. This came out and most people do not support this. I'm not trying to say people support this at all. I think it just fueled the fire and their anger towards the company. So when they joined the boycott, it was easy. They were already quitting their games anyways because they were in such a bad place. And now the outrage and the drama on Twitter just fed into that. But I do want to point out, as soon as a game came out that these people wanted to play, they kind of forgot about the boycott. Diablo 2 Resurrected, Overwatch 2. And I guarantee while Dragonblight is going to be, or Dragonflight will be very successful. And a lot of these people, I won't say they will have forgotten what Blizzard has done, but they'll be not on the boycott bandwagon anymore, because then it would actually require a real sacrifice for them. I get that there are some people that will stick to their guns, but let's be realistic, that is not the vast majority of people. But it wasn't just your average consumer that got caught up in all of this Twitter drama. There was also gaming outlets that kind of got caught up in this wave too, and some of them straight up said, they were no longer going to report on Blizzard games anymore. So it wasn't like they condoned them and blah blah blah. They were gonna blacklist Blizzard Entertainment. One such example is Prima Games. They put out a tweet on July 23rd, 2021. And it says, in light of recent reports regarding allegations of sexual harassment and discrimination at Activision Blizzard and Ubisoft, Prima Games is putting a hard pause on coverage of all Activision, Blizzard, and Ubisoft content until further notice. And they weren't the only ones, there was tons, but this is just the example we're using for the video. So they were gonna put a pause on all articles surrounding Blizzard games. And I don't think that pause lasted very long, because as we're going to take a look at, they continue to support coverage and show what was going on at Activision Blizzard. Alright, so as far as I could see, I never saw them saying they were going to start covering Blizzard games again. I never saw that article. If it's out there, please let me know in the comments, and maybe I'm mistaken. Maybe they came out and said maybe it's been long enough. But with Overwatch 2 releasing, Prima Games has released tons of articles covering Overwatch 2. Everything from how to get legendary skins, how to add your friends in Overwatch. How to add your friends in Overwatch 2. It's like they're just writing articles just to get content. What happened to not covering Blizzard games anymore? In fact, back in October 1st of 2021, not even 3 months after that tweet, they did an article on Call of Duty Black Ops 3. I don't know why they covered Black Ops 3 in 2021. I don't know if this was a repost on their site. I don't remember if Call of Duty had a remaster of Black Ops 3. Maybe it was like some zombie maps got remastered. Whatever the case, there's too many Call of Duties I can't keep track anymore. But they didn't even last 3 months on their supposedly they're not going to cover Activision Blizzard games anymore. I'm like, are you kidding me? You didn't even last 3 months. What was the point of that tweet? And this is just another example of an outlet or a company trying to get a virtual signal and jump on a bandwagon for good PR. And it's just very tiresome. It's so stupid. I think people see right through it, and it's just getting obnoxious. And I hate that it's starting to infest the gaming world. So Prima Games wasn't the only one. Sony Entertainment came out and basically reported that they were unhappy with Blizzard Entertainment and they were demanding to know how Blizzard was going to fix the issue. And I don't think anything ever came of that. If it did, it was behind closed doors, and I can't find anything on it. But let's be real, obviously Sony didn't care that much, because they kept all the marketing rights and exclusive content deals for Call of Duty for the next couple years. So in fact, right now they're flying around trying to block the Microsoft acquisition of Blizzard. So obviously they care more about Call of Duty and what's going to happen with that franchise than the company culture, because I don't know if the company culture ever got fixed. Bobby Kotick's still there and he's the CEO. So if anyone should have been punished, it should have been him. Now, I will say that at least some progress seems to be made at Activision Blizzard, and the courts are looking into it and stuff has happened. I just want to point out that these boycotts, these companies virtual signaling saying they're going to stop coverage, and then a couple months later, 2 months later, they're reporting on Activision Blizzard games. It's just old. And this is why gaming companies do not take gamer boycotts seriously, because they know as soon as they release a cool looking cinematic, as soon as they release their next game, an IP that gets gamers excited, even if the game sucks, even if the game's mediocre, they know people will play and drop money on it. Look at Diablo Immortal. That was a phone game that outraged people when it was announced before the sexual allegations came out, and the game has made billions of dollars. So the boycott for the sexual harassment was hollow. And it's just, this is why no one sticks to their guns. And we see this all the time in gaming, and this is why so many games come out and they're soulless and passionless, because if Blizzard could do this and people say they'll boycott the games and they still support Blizzard games, what would it take for people to stop playing and buying your games? It is easy to do a boycott when all their games suck. It's hard to do the boycott when there's something you want to play and you actually have to sacrifice your entertainment time on a game you want to enjoy to stick to your high ground morals. And unfortunately, the vast majority of people just can't do it. They really can't. Now, I will say, in general, I think most boycotts are stupid. I think as a consumer, if a game or a movie or a show or whatever, a product comes out and it's not what you want to play or enjoy, don't buy it. And if you want to enjoy it, buy it. This stuff went to court. It wasn't really gamers' responsibility for the boycott. I think people just get caught up in the drama, like I said. And you could despise the leadership and not support that action, but still support the games. They are two different things in my mind. And I think once people calm down, that was the rationale most people came to. And that's just the way the world is. I mean, if you're gonna boycott them over this, are you gonna boycott every movie in the world? I mean, look at Hollywood. It's the same shit everywhere. But those are my thoughts on this. I just wish when people did boycotts over stuff that they try to stick to their guns, and unfortunately in every area they do not. But I would love to hear what you guys think. What do you think of Overwatch 2? What do you think about these people always diving into this Twitter mod? What do you think about all these companies always doing the virtual signaling? Do you think it's a total waste? And when you read it, are you like me where you just know it's total nonsense? Please drop a comment down below. If you did enjoy the video, please like and subscribe, all that YouTube stuff, and I will catch you guys next time.